Well, good morning. As you probably saw, we were working on the goat coop last night, and a storm came rolling in. Pretty much blew me off of the roof. There's lots of damage. That rolled through at about 3 o'clock yesterday, and the power's been out ever since. Being from up north, our power is not typically off that long. If the power's out, usually they have it back on. I've never lived in a situation where power's been out longer than like maybe 6 hours. So now it's well past 12 hours. And so what I'm doing now is at 3 in the morning this morning when JJ woke up, I asked Tina, I said, are you concerned about the food? And she said, yeah, I'm kind of concerned. So then I went outside and tried to do the Champion generator. That's our Champion generator from our RV. So my whole idea with putting a generator on the RV was that we could use it when we're out camping, but then if something like this was to happen, we can use it then too. The only problem is that last night I tried to get this all working and pulled the generator down, filled it up with gas, tried to start it, it wouldn't start. And I said, what's going on? It just wouldn't start, wouldn't. Tried it for hours, and then ended up putting it away. This was like 10 o'clock last night. So then I came and went to bed and thought, for sure they'll have it. By the time I wake up, they'll have the power back on. 3 in the morning comes around, and I'm kind of worried because then it was 12 hours. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go outside. So I went outside after doing a little bit of Google search from the one bar that we have when the Wi-Fi is not working. They said, you gotta make sure your battery is fully charged to run on gasoline. I said, okay, that's probably it, because my batteries, usually I pull start it, for propane. Hook it up to the Ranger, and just crank, still would not go. Tina came out, and I just took screwdrivers, and I ended up taking the whole thing apart. I mean, it had pieces here, there, everywhere. It took me about an hour, maybe more, to tear this thing apart, because you can't get at anything, because it's all, packaged up. Hours go by, I ended up pulling the carburetor off, looking inside there, it was full of water, and there was rust and stuff inside there. So the fact that I never put gasoline in the system probably really messed it up, because you probably know, if you know, just put it in the comment below, but I think the propane, when I ran the propane, it would create condensation, and then that went into the float bowls and the carburetor and everything, and just rusted it out. So pretty bummed that I didn't know any better to run it, run some gas through it, maybe have gas in it. But my thought with it is that I would never use gas in it, so I didn't want the gas to sit in there and get old. So I thought, and I didn't see, I read the manual, I'm pretty sure it didn't say anywhere in there, don't run it just on propane. I think I'm gonna have to end up pulling it off again and really cleaning it up, because it was rust. There's water in it, right? Rusty stuff. Maybe the seafoam will really help, but definitely a bummer. If this can stay running, then I'll keep working on the chicken coop, and I'll tell you, man, I am tired. So it kept dying on me. So I'm tearing it apart again. All right, so here's one thing. Look at that. It's one of my old socks I used to clean up this rust. So I had to take the whole side off, the side with the battery, take it off, take the top off, and I will probably have to unscrew the tank. I'm not really quite sure yet. I had this whole thing torn apart. I even tore apart that side last time, but I figured out that I don't need to this time. So I have this torn off. Got the air cleaner out. Look at this. Look at all that gas. So the float's stuck. And now it's leaking out. So now I'm going to tear that off and clean it out. And I'll show you this time. It was 3 in the morning when I did it last time, so I didn't really have any light to show you. But now I can show you. Okay? Too pretty in your dress, right? If you get it on your dress, you have to change your dress.
I have more.
You have more?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you do. Your dress is all over the place. I don't have any dresses. Is that sad? Is that sad for me? Are you sad for me? No?
It's good for you.
It's good for me? Because I shouldn't wear dresses?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
That's in the Bible.
It does?
Mm-hmm.
What verse is that in?
Ephesians 1:16.
Ephesians 1:16. Dads should not wear dresses, right?
Yep.
That's what it says?
Yep.
Oh.
It says in the Bible.
That's what it says in the Bible. Luke's been my companion here. He's gonna hold on to the camera while we hook up the jumper cables.
We start a fire.
If we start a fire, we just run.
We start a fire, then we're toast.
No, because we don't have any bread. Battery on, we got some power. Give it some choke. Ready? That was good, it popped. Here we go again.
Sounds like it sounds like a four-wheeler.
Whoa, we got blowing lots of gas out. I think we're over choked.
I think we're over choked.
So I'll probably put it back together and then put it back over there, hook it back up to the fridge. It's going to be kind of exhausty because of the sea foam. Ugh. Not the latest thing.
Dad, what are you doing?
I want to show you something. See this right here?
We lost it.
This is what they call the main jet. Okay, that goes inside the carburetor. So you know when we fired it up when Luke was here and we were watching it blow all the smoke and everything, and I thought it was the sea foam. It was actually because the main jet was missing and it was just sucking in tons of gas and just blowing it all out. So now I got to take the whole thing all back apart. Take the carburetor all apart, stick it back in there, and put it back together. Oh, and by the way, I left it on the tailgate, and I pulled, when you were watching, I pulled down and I drove over there, and this part fell down right here. This part fell down in the grass over there. Just so happened to find them. Whoa. Whoa. All right, we'll talk later. Power on. Start it up. day long. All right, power's still not on though. But generator's sounding great. Still got a lot to get. That's all the gas I had in there from not putting the main jet in. Boy, I tell you. Sounds really good though. Put it back together. So the fix ended up working really well. We ran that generator for 4 full days. The power was out from Sunday afternoon till Wednesday afternoon. And it worked really well.
4 days?
It was 4 days, right? Oh, and if you're wondering what happened to my nose, I had to make a run back to Wisconsin to get a bunch of our stuff out of the house because we were selling our house. And a board came by and just got me right in the nose as I was trying to lift the couch up. It's weird, but anyway, it looks worse than it is. Anyway, the generator ended up working really well for us. We have a plug on the other side of our house that we found where you can plug a generator in. So I made a special wire for this generator that allowed us to power all of the stuff in the house, all the 110 stuff. All the 220 stuff I had to shut off at the breakers in order for it to work right. But if you're interested in that, drop me a message below. I'd be glad to help you and maybe talk to you about how I wired that up. Otherwise, it ended up working great. We then, power came back on and it's been good ever since. So we've loaded it back up onto the camper because we're heading out tomorrow morning going back up north. We already went north. Now we came back south. Now we're going back north. So this is like a live feed, essentially. We're kind of in the middle of something right now. We're heading back north right now. So just a note, if you have one of these Champion ones and you're watching this and you're like, dude, I've never put any gas in it, go out and try to put some gas in it right away, okay? If you run yours on gas every now and then, you're probably good. But I wanted to show you something, and I got it all, packed up, but I might have a picture and I'll overlay it here. But there's a screw on the bottom of the carburetor that you can get to in this panel, and you can unscrew that screw and gas will come out that little hose. And essentially what you can do is by unscrewing that, you can get any old gas out of your carburetor. So if you're worried like, oh, I don't want the gas to get old, you can let the gas out and then add fresh gas and, keep it dripping a little bit and then close it up. And that way you have fresh gas in it. So just run it every once in a while and then you can run propane anytime you want. I think that's what I'll do. So thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, drop them below. Glad to help. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.